Why is it important to work on both the muscles you are targeting as well as the opposing group? How do you prefer dry land training during taper? What's some of the best prehab and or warm-up exercises for your shoulders? What is the best way to improve the streamline? What's going on, Swimmer Strength family? Today we got an easy Q&A video for you to answer some of your questions. And if you have more questions, don't hesitate to comment below, stay more engaged on social media, and I will give you guys a little shout out. Like always, my name is Dennis Ekmate, your performance coach and sports scientist. And now let's dig right into this Q&A. First question comes from Cuddly Boss Lady. Why is it important to work on both the muscles you are targeting as well as the opposing group? Now, I am assuming that you mean, why are we targeting the muscles that we are actually working when we are propelling forward when we swim? So we're talking about the lats, pecs, hip flexors, quads, a lot. So why is it important to do the opposing muscle groups? So the external rotator cuffs versus the internal rotator cuffs. As far as it goes to a general health perspective, it's important to balance our muscles and our bodies out so we can stay healthier for longer periods of time. Otherwise, it's easy for us to just dig ourselves in and get super specific with our movements. But also, there is a principle called reciprocal inhibition, which means that when we are targeting one muscle group, the opposing muscle group must relax. So if we want to get really advanced with our training, it's important that we can contract and relax the given muscles so we can get the most out of our force and power outputs. Next question from @Naveen Panvar 0044. Periodization. That's it. So this is really broad. There's no question here. So I'm assuming that you're looking for a lot of information here. If you do, check out this book by Bompa and Busicelli. It's excellent for periodization when we're talking about sports in general. But when we're talking about swimming and periodization, we're doing it simply because we want to peak at the right time. And when we do this, we need to put the mesocycles, the cycles, appropriately so we can do that. So we can actually get our muscles peaking in the water for a given number of repetitions, right? Because swimming is a power endurance sport. We're not going to just go for max lift. So the way we're periodizing it is really important. And I tend to take 1 to 2 weeks off of weights, but we can do some dry land training and then go in between strength, power, and hypertrophy and general movement quality. But also really important that we are working and targeting both the eccentric, isometric, and concentric muscle actions. And the way we can actually build certain phases are to go 2 weeks on, 1 week off, or 3 weeks on, 1 week off, where we're actually working for those 2 or 3 weeks and then taking a deload or recover week for 1 week, and then time that appropriately for the last championship meets. Going back in the database, some old questions that you have had. The Ward House asked, how do you prefer dry land training during taper? And I just touched on that a little bit, right? I like to just cut to the chase immediately. Let's lower the repetitions. Let's be a little bit more deliberate in our movement and just move faster. Go, go, go. Much quicker motions. Now, those workouts become much shorter. So I like to add a lot more active recovery, some mobility, some more movements to facilitate flow, and also just range of motion so we can facilitate those technical details in the water to help swimmers feel a little bit lighter in the water. Robin Flyman is asking, what's some of the best prehab and or warm-up exercises for your shoulders? Okay. I want us to rethink a little bit here of what is the best, because yes, everyone is going to be slightly different here. But what is really important here is that you are avoiding pain and that you're generally moving and warming up your shoulder blades in different positions. More so, upward rotation and elevation of your shoulder blades are really important. But like I said, there should not be any pain. And as long as you're consistent, as long as you're doing something every day for your shoulders, it is a good thing. So if you're asking this question, you are already on the right way, I can tell. The last question is coming from @Alexandro Views, and he asked this a while back. What is the best way to improve the streamline? And I'm going to assume that this swimmer is lacking stiffness, range of motion, because typically if we are a normal or a hypermobile swimmer, we don't need to develop the streamline versus stabilizing the important muscles and joints that surrounding it. I'm talking about the shoulders, hips, and the ankles mostly, including the knees. But if we are stiff, what we need to do then is to improve flexibility first. We have to get into a passive motion or passive range of motion. And as we are developing that, we have to also include mobility. How can we get the muscles firing and getting active in these ranges that the body then is unfamiliar with? So that we're talking about the pecs, the lats, thoracic hyperextension, hip extension, knees, and also ankles. All of those have to be really targeted and worked on a daily, consistent basis if we genuinely want to improve the streamline. And as I'm getting older, my streamline is getting a little bit better because I had a terrible streamline in college and before college. So if you have a bad streamline, you have to work on it on a daily basis, work on both static flexibility, but move right into mobility, which means that you need to control those ranges of motion in both position with your body weight, but also with some tools such as a mobility ball, peanut ball, and foam rolls. That is our Q&A. I appreciate you guys staying engaged. Comment below what you would like to see in the future or what questions you have for the future Q&A, and I will always give you a little shout out, and I appreciate you. Next week, we got analysis and a video commentary of another pro swimmer. See you then. The Swim String YouTube channel is for you to get faster, reduce injuries, and also recover quicker. Guys, if you want to be faster, if you want to be a better coach, faster swimmer, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, and so we can grow our community together and keep growing the sport of swimming. More world records are being broken, so it only makes sense that we keep itching our curiosity and develop our own thinking. I see you in the next video.